Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Practicing reading and listening skills through interesting short stories is a very effective way to learn English. Today's story is more detailed and complex, helping you practice your reading skills and build your vocabulary. On a small island far off the coast, there stood an old lighthouse. It had been there for more than 100 years, guiding ships safely through the dangerous waters. Most people in the nearby town avoided the island, saying it was cursed. They believed the lighthouse was haunted by the spirit of its first keeper, Mr. Alfred, who had mysteriously disappeared one stormy night. One summer, a boy named Charlie moved to the town with his family. Unlike the others, Charlie was fascinated by the island. From his bedroom window, he could see the tall, white tower of the lighthouse standing proudly against the horizon. Every night, he would watch the beam of light sweep across the sea, and he couldn't help but wonder what had really happened to Mr. Alfred. One day, Charlie decided he had to know the truth. After packing a small bag with a flashlight, some snacks, and a notebook, he took a small boat and rowed towards the island. As he got closer, he noticed how quiet it was. The only sounds were the waves crashing against the shore and the distant cry of seagulls. Charlie stepped onto the rocky beach, his heart pounding with excitement and a little fear. The lighthouse towered above him, its paint peeling and windows covered in dust. The door was slightly open, creaking in the wind. He hesitated for a moment but then pushed it open and stepped inside. The interior was cold and dark, but Charlie switched on his flashlight. He saw old furniture, a dusty table, and bookshelves filled with journals and maps. Everything seemed to have been left exactly as it was the night Mr. Alfred disappeared. Charlie began to explore, flipping through some of the journals. They were filled with detailed notes about the weather, the tides, and the ships that had passed by the island. But in one journal, something strange caught his eye. The last few pages were filled with strange symbols and drawings of mysterious creatures rising from the sea. Suddenly, Charlie heard a noise from upstairs, a slow, steady creaking sound like footsteps. His heart raced as he climbed the spiral staircase that led to the top of the lighthouse. At the top, he found the lantern room where the light was still spinning slowly, but there was no one there. The room was empty, except for an old wooden chest in the corner. Curiosity got the best of Charlie, and he knelt down to open the chest. Inside, he found a set of old keys, a compass, and a small, leather-bound book. The book looked different from the others he had seen downstairs. It was much older, and the pages were yellowed with age. Charlie sat down and began to read the book. To his surprise, it was a diary, Mr. Alfred's diary. The entries told a strange and eerie story. Mr. Alfred had written about strange occurrences on the island, glowing lights under the water, whispers in the wind, and shadows that moved when no one was there. He believed that something ancient and powerful lived beneath the waves, something that had been watching the lighthouse for centuries. The last entry sent shivers down Charlie's spine. It read, "Tonight is the night. The sea has been calm for too long, and I know they are coming. I hear their voices now, calling to me. If I do not return, let this diary be my warning. The island is not what it seems." Just as Charlie finished reading, a cold gust of wind blew through the room, slamming the door shut. The lighthouse began to groan and creak as if it were alive. Panicking, Charlie grabbed the diary and the keys and rushed down the stairs. But as he reached the bottom, he saw something that made him freeze. Standing in the doorway was a figure, a tall man with a long, dark coat. His face was pale, and his eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. It was Mr. Alfred. Charlie's heart was racing, but before he could say anything, the figure spoke. "You've read my diary," he said in a low, echoing voice. Now you know the truth. The island has secrets that must never be disturbed." Charlie swallowed hard and nodded, clutching the diary tightly. Mr. Alfred stepped aside, and with a trembling hand, Charlie rushed past him, out of the lighthouse and back to his boat. As he rowed away, he looked back at the lighthouse. The figure of Mr. Alfred was gone, and the island was silent once again. But Charlie knew that the mystery was far from over. The secrets of the island were deeper and darker than he had imagined. Back at home, Charlie couldn't stop thinking about the diary and the strange things he had seen. He knew he had uncovered something that the town had been trying to forget. And though he was afraid, he also felt a strange pull to return to the island. There were still so many unanswered questions. And one day, he knew he would have to go back.